Hi there. Have you invited Jesus into your life? Have you invited him into your heart? That's a common question we hear, or something, an idea that's commonly talked about in Christianity. And, what does that mean theologically? Or is it theologically accurate to say that? I'm not going to get into all that, but basically we know what it means. Have we chosen to follow Jesus? Have we put him first in our life to follow his ways? But I'm going to take that question a little deeper. Have you invited Jesus into every aspect of your life to walk along with you as you go down a trail in your life, down the path in your life, and the things you do on a day-to-day basis? Now, as photographers, for those of us who like to take pictures, I invite Jesus into my photography as I walk along a real trail and kind of think about what I'm doing. And there's different ways that comes about in my photography, like photographing God's majesty. We can invite Jesus into our photography as we photograph his majesty. Creation was created by God to point to him. It's one of the things creation does, is it points to God. And when we see the majesty in creation, it points us to God. And capture that majesty with your camera. As you go about doing it, talk to God. Have a conversation with Jesus as you photograph the beauty and majesty of his creation. Now, we see that clearly in the big landscapes. Maybe if we're in a national park somewhere, we can really see that majesty and wonder, and boy, do we want to capture it. But we can still see that majesty and wonder in a walk in a park, or even in our own backyard, and we look at flowers. God's majesty and wonder is not only in those big and grand things, but it's in the small things. And as we invite Jesus into our photography, he speaks to our mind, speaks to our heart, and we can better capture the wonder and the majesty and the things that he's created. Another way we can invite Jesus into our photography is to photograph for excellence, right?